like you said, it's going to be the same presentation.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to put the phone back on the hook. So if anybody has a comment on agenda items only, please call at 973-232-4442. We have a 30-second delay that Chris has started already. So let's go on to public comment, agenda items only. Anybody from the audience right now? Okay. Is what? No.
I miss those. As we doodle and wait for the clock to tick down.
Okay.
And we have no calls, seeing none. So let's move on at that point to our administrator's report, Mr. John Basigal, RBA.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. From our engineering department, a couple of things I wanted to bring up. We've recently received a $110,000 award, a grant from the county, and this is going to be for paving of streets. This will be Litchfield and Cambridge, and this will be sometime probably August of next year. We also got $60,000 awarded to us from Union County Infrastructure Grant for paving various streets. From last year, we had $105,000 for Nelson and Countryside. Those bids were open today. You'll see that on the agenda tonight. The award will be made, and that should be done this summer. From our building department, a few things I wanted to touch on. We started scanning to try to get rid of paperwork, and we've already done 3 complete lateral files have been scanned. We are also going to online payments. Within the next 2 to 3 weeks, that'll be up and running. Residents will be able to go online, permits, everything will be able, in the building department, you could do online and pay for it. So that should really speed things up. Unfortunately, if you have large plans, like architectural plans, you still have to drop those off or pick up or mail them, because obviously we can't do it online. A couple other things. The Gomes project submitted their plans and their permits for final review for the parking garage, the gym, and the stores. Change of tenancy application has been received from motor vehicle to move over on Route 22 by the Olive Garden. We had a meeting with them yesterday to go over where they're going to go, what the traffic flow would be like, parking, et cetera, et cetera. So although we're going to lose the revenue from the parking lot here, I think it's going to be a big boost to anybody who wants to go to DMV. It's going to be much easier. There's a lot more parking. You're going to have one way in. You'll be able to swing by, park, go, and go out through the back, right back out on 22. So it's going to be a lot easier, and quite frankly, it's going to be better for us. We won't have the cleanup that we've had with DMV over there.
Right.
So I don't know who's going to go in that building. It's privately owned, so at some point we may see something else. We also, interestingly, had 41 gas generators have been applied for since COVID started. Thought that was a little interesting tidbit. From our DPW, the curbside collection of vegetative waste ends on April 30th. Beyond that, residents can drop off their waste at 44 Morrison Road, which is the pool, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7:30 to 11:30 a.m. We started the LED lighting project over at the fire department with PSE&G. We're replacing all the lights and 3 of the oldest HVAC units. The nice thing with this is, out of the the project costs $107,000. The state picks up 70% of it. We pick up about 30 grand. So it's really a very good deal for Springfield. We can get this done. The payback is very short because we save on electric. We go through, believe it or not, a tremendous amount of light bulbs over there and a tremendous amount of ballast. So that will be eliminated. So that's going to really help us. Let's see what else we have. From our rec department, I wanted to give an update on where we are in the pool. In March, we blew all the leaves out and cleaned up all the debris in the parking lots and the pool, removed all the vine growth along the perimeter fencing. Playground border replacement was done, and pathways at the playground and off the pool deck were done. In April, the clubhouse fire alarm system has been inspected. We're landscaping, cutting grass, weed whack, and sprinkler system was activated, and grass fertilization. Repairs to the filter building, electric, pool vacuum, and ADA lift. Draining of both pools and hosing down all pool walls. Miscellaneous interior activity such as HVAC filter replacement, light fixture repairs, IT work, etc. The YMCA is coordinating annual visits from the electrician, the plumber, fire extinguisher company, chlorine, acid delivery, lab testing company, and filter startup. So we are moving along. We're on schedule with the Y. Upcoming will be next, will be filling the pools. The wood carping will be replenished, replacement of one basketball backboard and 2 rims, weed removal from the bocce court, the volleyball court, and the horseshoes, mulching around the trees and bushes, snack bar kitchen suppression system inspection to be done. So that's what's happening at the pool. I will now touch upon some of our, one other thing, if I may, from our fire department. Engine 2 has been placed in service. The install was done by our fire department personnel in-house. We saved approximately $8,000 doing the work ourselves. Annual bailout training has been completed, and our fit tests for our firemen have been done. On our building projects around town, a redevelopment, the Larkin Building, which is the corner of Church Mall and Morris Avenue. We are installing kitchens. He's got kitchens being installed next week on the first floor. One store has been rented. He's got a signed agreement. 2 others, he has potential renters there. They haven't signed up yet, but he's got 2 people very interested. Final inspection, he's looking at probably the end of next month or so. So we're looking at probably June for CSCs and start getting rentals in there. So Charlie's in very good shape, actually. He's doing well. We had a very good meeting with the Saks people, or the Garden Home people, on the old Saks property. Just to give you an update on that, site work started on 4/21. That's going to continue through late fall. Interesting, the parking garage is going to be delivered in the late fall. The parking garage is mainly prefab. They're going to put up the entire parking garage in 19 days. Permits for the first of the 2 townhouse buildings will be issued this week. We're looking at 30 months for completion of the entire project. The nice thing is no soil is going to be removed. There's very little grading that has to be done. Everything is going to be kept on site. So the site is clean. We were over there. We've got multiple cell phone numbers. So if there's any problems, we can get a hold of somebody. And they've done a nice job with notifying all the residents, keeping them in the loop, going door to door. So we have gotten no complaints from the residents there. They've done a very good job of keeping them informed. On our Gomes project, I don't know if anybody has passed, but if you look in the pit, they've put in some hallways, and the block for the storage rooms have been done, and they were back there today putting more steel up. So if you go over, you'll see some uprights, and then you'll see some cross members have been mounted. So he is actually moving along. And I think that's all that I have for the moment, unless someone has a question or a comment.
I do.
Yes, sir.
No, you're first. You're first.
Go ahead.
Don't fight.
All right, on your vegetative waste,
Yes, sir.
do we still collect electronics on the first Saturday?
Electronics you could drop off at the pool.
Yeah.
Again, we're open, as I stated Monday.
But see, the thing is, I work in New York. I leave at 4:30 in the morning. I don't get back there till 5 o'clock at night. I can't drop my stuff off at the pool. So on the first Saturday of the month, don't we still collect electronics? No, we don't do
If you give me one moment, I will find out for you right away.
I drop stuff off. I mean, they have cameras, as long as you put it neat.
Yeah, you could drop off at any
All
time.
right, I mean, just want people to know,
Yeah.
they have to be able to do it after 11:30, because people,
You can
everybody,
place it there, but just
Yeah.
know that the whole area is monitored by.
yes,
Cameras.
by cameras. I just want people to know that. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. That's it.
Yeah, we could drop off any time because everything's under surveillance. Robbie just
Right.
Okay.
texted.
No, you're
Nope.
the mayor. You're,
No, you go ahead.
okay. I just have a general question just about the information. Is it possible to have our public information officer, you have, and you shared with us, a lot of good information that a lot of people would be definitely interested in about Saks, about, the stores being rented out, about vegetation and all of that stuff. And I'll leave it to you, but those important points that you get the phone calls about, or that people want to know, is there a way that Tamara can just put out some posts regarding stuff?
That will be posted tomorrow.
And we could update, remember we started that section on the township website about businesses, long-term projects, short-term projects, so that would be good to kind of, I don't know, I haven't looked, so it could be updated, but.
We'll update it tomorrow.
Cool.
And I can tell you that Tamara's been going through and cleaning up things that get old, that we've posted, that are no longer really relevant. So we're trying to put out information on a daily basis and trying to clean up. I don't know, if you know that we had an outage last night at JCP&L.
Yeah.
I called Tamara last night, whatever time it was, and she posted how many were out, what the ETR was, and when it actually came back up, we posted that everybody's back.
Yeah, I saw that, because I was actually I heard that it happened, and I hadn't gotten an email about it, so people were asking me, but before I even reached out to either you or Mayor Weber or Alex or anybody, it was already up, she already had it up, so.
Yeah, so we're trying to use that to our advantage. It's worked out, I think, fairly well. You know, and again, we're going to get better as time goes along.
Sure.
So, but yes, we will post everything tomorrow.
Okay. I'm going to copy what he said. Your report is everything that everybody's looking for, so if you just want to literally just give her your report and let her
Will
put it
do.
out there as a.
Just take
start
your
a
name
business
off it like
administrator
at school,
report.
let me put
Yeah.
my name on it.
Yeah, start a business administrator report section or something on the website or however you want to do it.
Yep,
Because
we'll
your
take-
report is what they're looking for. Second thing, I know all five of us have gotten a call on it, and it's time that, we got to know, and I know you had a meeting on it. What is the feeling on the library opening, and when is it going to open?
Okay. I would like to preference my comments with one statement, of course, is that, as you all know, we don't control the library.
Can you say that
but
one more time, please?
we do not control the library.
Thank you. We do not control the library, is what you said. Okay.
But I did have a meeting with Dale. She has a soft opening scheduled for the 17th of this month. She's going to allow 10 people in at a time. When those 10 people are done, I think she gives them an hour. She's going to usher them out the building, and then she'll bring another 10 people in. And she still has, obviously, you can get your book pickup at the back.
All right. So, 10 people at a time.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions on the library?
I would, I just want to throw my 2 cents in. As you know, I sit on the library board. And Dale and I have had some, along with the board, has had some very candid conversations.
Yep.
I have certainly shared our sentiments about the library and its access to the general public. I believe and still believe it should be more open that their plan is now. I think they need to be a little bit more proactive about it. And what I'm sharing with you, I've shared with them. They have issues with staffing, they have issues with COVID, they have a lot of valid points and valid issues, but my point to those concerns was their issues and their concerns that they have are no bigger and no larger and no more severe than our businesses, than our recreation, than Chisholm being opened, and Town Hall. Town Hall is planned to be open next month as well.
First.
And their issues, although I respect them, they're no larger or no more dire than anything that anyone else has been dealing with. And I have made that clear, and we had spoken previously offline, and I spoke, on behalf of you that and as the Township Committee, that we'd all like to see it. To piggyback off of John, we've made some progress. I think the lines of communication have been more open, I think, than they ever had. With those open lines of communications, there have been some tough, candid conversations about where we see library operations, where it's going, the drawbacks, because there's some things that they do very well. Like the story times and the online and the Facebook stuff that's become very popular, and they've become their strengths. And there's also things that they certainly need some improvement upon. And we've had some very fair conversations, but they know without any doubt that I said it's coming. Public wanting the library open is coming. They're making the proper arrangements as best they can. We'd all like it to open sooner, but this is certainly a start.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Perfect. Honestly, you covered everything. I agree with everything you said. I do think that on the size of that library, I think 10 people's cutting a little short at a time. But again, you said that we don't have any control of the library. So.
Are they allowing people, I may be mistaking it with the sign I see, like I drive past Summit all the time, and there's a library, but I thought our sign, are they letting people in to use the computers now? Or is that not here?
By
By appointment.
Yes, by appointment. It's still very limited from, and again, this is after, and again, this is part of the reopening plan. that library, thanks to the DPW, is, and this is a fact, the cleanest it's ever been, probably in its existence. You know, and the library, I'll go even further by saying the library is probably one of the safest municipal buildings in the township because of the cleanliness and the low flow of traffic that's been in there since the pandemic. And I've made that clear as well.
Well, I agree with you.
Okay. I don't have anything else. Thank you, John. Anybody have anything?
Thank you.
No.
Okay. Let's pay some bills with Deputy Mayor Kaiser.
No.
Oh, bid
What about
update, Scott Seidel, I'm sorry. Bid, Mike Scalera is not here. Scott's coming on up. I think Mike's been in Florida like 2 weeks or two meetings.
Are you a new
already.
resident here?
No, I'm not. I'm just old.
Tell me.
Mike and I, we're splitting every other week.
Nothing wrong with that.
Not that these meetings aren't wonderful. So we had our monthly bid meeting this morning,
Yep.
and a couple of things we discussed. We were talking about the phase 3 of our streetscape project. The streetscape that the bid has done so far, the pavers, the signs, new lighting that were done in the areas by the other side of the Shell station, the sweet shop, bagel stores, and at the other end by Shoppy's and Connect One Bank. We're looking to expand that to some other retail areas in town that weren't done. Jack?
They believe you're on the stage.
Jazz hands.
Okay, so we're going to expand it to some areas we haven't done. We were out looking at different areas. One of the areas we looked at was across the street from the Shell station, over by Little Details, Dr. Hammer's office, Wolf Realty right now. There are some issues with that area because of large trees, and if you go over and look, you'll see the sidewalk is already coming up. So we're going to have to see what we can do there. We have an arborist coming in to look at those trees. The last thing we want to do is to put a streetscape in there and cut roots and create more problems.
Yeah.
So it may be that we can't do anything there. But we are looking at other areas further down Mountain Avenue on the other side of the fire department, and we're going to get prices on all of it and then see which areas we can do. We probably won't float another bond to do it. We probably might do one section a year, and the first one might start in March of 2022. So we haven't identified what we're doing, but we're getting plans, and we're looking at those areas right now.
Scott, can I just interrupt you one
Yes.
second? If you need to remove any trees, tree permit, so just make sure somebody comes into town.
We're actually looking not to remove any trees. I think if we had to remove trees,
Just in
we
case.
probably wouldn't.
Just talk to Robbie.
Yeah, because we probably wouldn't get involved in that, but that's why the arborist is going to look at it.
Okay.
And if it comes to trees, Robbie's the first guy I call. Gift card program, our gift card program with the bid is underway. We can buy a $25 gift card for $15. It's a great deal. You should avail yourself of that program to all the businesses that are participating in it. And we've been working closely with the Chamber of Commerce. We've had a number of grand openings and ribbon cuttings in the last few weeks, including the Scream Truck, which is very popular ice cream, and actually stopped by the town hall and gave out some ice cream. And it's some rather new, interesting businesses coming to town. And the other thing we discussed was an issue of 1-hour parking on Morris Avenue. Some of the businesses have complained that I guess there's always been 1-hour parking, now it's being enforced, and they feel it should be a little bit longer. So we've asked the township to look at that and consider possibly 2-hour parking instead of 1-hour parking. That would still prevent people from parking there all day and going into the city, but allow a little longer time to go to a restaurant, get a meal, go to the salon, hairdresser, or whatever. And that pretty much sums up our bid meeting. Any questions?
Thank you.
I have a comment. I know that I spoke to Mr. Scalera about it, and I cannot stress it enough. You did mention about the street that's across from the Shell that has the dental place, and I think there's a hair salon there and a realty company.
Yes.
I know you're having some issues with that, but that really is a heavily, heavily used walkway between that strip mall, if you will, the church, and also FMG, FMG?
Yeah.
FMG that's right there?
Yeah, oh, no,
There are a
St.
lot
James.
of
No, we know
people
that.
use that sidewalk, and if that could get I know we have some concerns with the trees, but if we could really look at trying to remediate some of those issues if we can, and get that sidewalk to be, as nice as the other ones. I think that would really be helpful. I think the residents would appreciate that.
One of the things we discussed was if in fact the trees have to come out, that we would probably either go to the property owner or the township to see if they would do that, and then we would do the streetscape.
Okay.
The last thing we want to do is to go, not take the trees out, put the streetscape in, the roots raise it up and somebody trips and,
Absolutely
we
not.
create a worse
Bad idea.
situation.
I agree.
So we'll be looking at it very carefully and we'll make sure any permits will be taken up before any work is done.
Thank you, Scott.
And I will, switching gears for 1 second, I will mention, and you can go on the town's website, at SpringfieldPatriot.com, that the County of Union released today a new vaccination program at home, putting my OEM hat on for a minute, and they will be going into people's homes to give homebound people the vaccine. They're rolling it out tomorrow in Clark, Garwood, and Cranford. None of those sound like Springfield. And you can sign up starting tomorrow. All the information is on the town's website, SpringfieldPatriot.com, county's Facebook page. It's all there. Explains how you can qualify for it. And I spoke to the county today. The rules are pretty loose. If you're homebound or a doctor says you can't get out, they're looking to sign up a bunch of people for each community, and then they'll go into each town and set it up. So it won't happen immediately, but at least there's a program. It took a while to put it together, and it's happening. And I know that's been important to a number of residents.
That is
Can't get out.
huge.
Is there a phone number? 'Cause
Yes,
people, are,
there's a hotline you call,
okay.
and all the information is there.
We
I
have to
think
get a minimum number, right, Scott?
they're gonna, yeah, so what they're doing is they're looking to put together a group of people. They say they have a list from each of the 21 towns now of people that want it. And I guess they're looking to get everybody to call up, see, all right, well, we've got, 700 people in Springfield, and then they can put it together and decide where they're gonna go.
Okay.
Because when they're working with a couple of visiting nurse services, it's all in the press release. Because when you go into somebody's house, and think about anyone here who's gotten the vaccine, you have to go there, obviously you have to go through the protocols, explain everything, fill out some paperwork, and then give them the vaccine, and then you have to wait
15 minutes.
15 minutes or 30 minutes for that one person before you can leave and go somewhere else. So one person isn't going to do a lot of people in a day. So, and that's been the logistical issue. So again, they put the program together, and we'll see how it works, but at least it's available.
That's huge.
Thank you.
Do we know which of are they doing the J&J since it's a one?
They are doing the Moderna at first, but they may go to the J&J in a while, and you probably won't have a choice, and that will become an issue too for some people.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, at least there's a
Yeah.
program.
Yeah, that's gigantic.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Thank you,
I just
Scott.
want to go back to something with John about the pool. As everyone up here knows, I'm not computer literate. I signed up last night, I pushed it, and it overcharged me. It charged me $225 for two senior citizens, and it was supposed to be $175. So I called today, and they said, without a problem, they said she will go to the administrator, and it will be back on my credit card, it's $50. So I mean, if anybody has a problem with signing up and they will charge you, or I was supposed to put a code in, and I didn't see any code. But
So it was an easy process to work with.
it's an easy process to work with, and
Good.
the Y is there, and they answer the phone, and they answer any questions you have.
Good.
So it's good. I'm sorry I didn't meant to do it before.
Good.
Okay.
All right, let's go back to finance. Deputy Mayor Kaiser.
Okay. I'll make a motion for the adoption of the payroll and invoices for the period of April 14th through April 27, 2021 in the amount of $934,733.73.
I second.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser,
Yes.
Committeeman Capides.
Yes.
Committeewoman Du Bois.
Yes.
Committeeman Huber.
Yes.
Mayor Weber.
Yes.
You've all also received from Diane the revenue report comparison and the summary budget account status. So take a glance at that at your leisure.
I would like to make a motion to adopt the regular meeting minutes of March 9th as emailed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Aye.
You is.
Business ordinances on the second reading.
Okay, we have a second reading reading of ordinance 2021-11. This ordinance is to establish a cap bank in the year 2021 pursuant to NJSA. Probably forgot the number, but it's okay.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 2021-11 as read by Madam Clerk, with the publication in the local source on April 29th, 2021.
I second with publication of the local source on April 29th, 2021.
Okay, let's go, anybody outside watching? Public comment, 973-232-4442. That's 973-232-4442. While we're doing that, any public comment from out here? See, no, wait till Bob comes back, because I'm about something. Any discussion on here on it?
No,
We talked about this last meeting.
yeah.
Okay.
This, oh, all right.
No, go ahead, talk, we still
No.
got 10 seconds left to kill.
I don't read the ordinance.
And
I
seeing
heard dead air, I got excited.
no comments.
I wanted to hear myself talk.
Let's go to a roll call vote.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser.
Yes.
Committeeman Capides.
Yes.
Committeewoman Du Bois.
Yes.
Committeeman Huber.
Yes,
Mayor Weber.
Yes.
Ordinance 2021-12. This ordinance makes changes to the fees for Chisholm Playground Camp.
I move to adopt ordinance 2021-12 as read by Madam Clerk, publication in the local source, April 29th, 2021.
a second.
All right, we'll go back to public comment again, 973-232-4442. If anybody has any questions on the township camp amendments.
And just because we have time to kill, this is the half-day camp that typically runs at Chisholm, and it's back this summer. So sometimes for the younger folks or people who don't need their child in camp all day at the pool, they might choose this route. So that's what this is.
And it is another sign that we are getting everything back to normal. No comments on that.
Committeewoman Du Bois.
Yes.
Committeeman Huber.
Yes,
Committeeman Capides.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser.
Yes.
Mayor Weber.
Yes.
Ordinance 2021-13. This ordinance temporarily suspends certain provisions of Chapter 27 of the Township Code during the 2021 summer pool season.
Yep. Sorry, I was rereading the other one, 2020. I motion ordinance 2021-13 as read by Madam Clerk, publication in local source, April 29th, 2021.
second.
And public comment, 973-232-4442. Seeing no public comment out here, this is something we discussed also
Last meeting.
at full depth.
And during this commercial break, I would like to take a moment of personal privilege. If you'll notice that the publication is in the local source for April 29th, 2021. That happens to be my daughter's birthday.
Oh, there you
Excellent.
So
go.
I just want to give a shout out. Happy
Hi, Madison.
birthday, Madison.
Nice.
She'll be 15
Wait, what's-
years old.
So we got 2 days, Madison, 2 days.
You're getting old, Chris.
Mine
You're
turned
getting old.
16 last week, bro. It's
What?
all downhill
You're
from here.
getting old.
All right, roll call.
Committeewoman Du Bois.
Yes.
Committeeman Huber.
Yes.
Committeeman Capides.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser.
Yes.
Mayor Weber.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
No first readings.
No further.
No first readings. We're just going to go straight to resolutions. I will
118 comes out, I want to talk about it.
Okay, what is it?
118, I want
Okay,
the
so
first one.
we're going to pull 118. I'll
Yeah.
read the rest of them off. 2021, we'll approve them by consent agenda. Resolution 2021-119, 2021-120, 2021-121, 21.
122.
Pull 2020-121.
Okay.
2021-122, 2021-123, 2021-124, 2021-125, 2021-126, 2021-127, 2021-128, 2021-129, 2021-130, 2021-131, 2021-132, 2021-133, I'm sorry, go back, pull 130, 2021-130, pull that one.
130?
Yeah.
130.
We're at 2021-133,
That's it.
and that's it.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to make a motion to pass resolutions 119, 120, 122 through 129, 131 through 133.
Second. It's slow.
I didn't even bother trying. I knew it was going to be quick.
Yeah.
Roll call. Committeeman Capides?
Yes.
Committeeman Huber?
Yes.
Committeewoman DuBois?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser?
Yes.
Mayor Weber?
Yes.
Resolution 2021-118. This resolution authorizes the purchase of a new 2021 Dodge Durango Pursuit SUV for the police department, and we have a certificate of available funds.
We gotta,
Should I make the motion
yeah,
first?
make the
No,
motion, I guess, right.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make the motion for this resolution as read by Madam Clerk.
Second.
The only reason I pull this is because, and Chief, I've told you, I've told John, I get calls all the time. We have a lot of police cars. Are we getting rid of any in the surplus?
I'm pretty sure, didn't you, you recently put out, he recently put out a statement on social media, actually.
Yeah, but I mean, I just,
Because years ago, when I first got it, it's one of the first things I asked it, I said, oh, now I understand it. And it's funny because it comes up, but then when you explain it to people.
I'll explain the three. We had two originally, and then I had to wait. We purchased three. Two few meetings back. One of those was from old funds that we had that we didn't use for a different line item, so they were reallocated towards a vehicle. The second I purchased through forfeiture funds, so no cost to the township. And this one had to wait until the capital budget was passed. So the third one's through the capital budget. Yes, as I explained before, these three new vehicles will be going into patrol use. The ones that they will be replacing will then be replacing the worst of the worst that we have that we use for outside employment jobs. Those vehicles, if we were to sell a vehicle that's decommissioned as far as being safe enough for patrol purposes, they're still drivable, et cetera, they're not going to fall apart, but as far as the patrol response, they're really not good enough for, servicing our people. So those get utilized for side jobs. Those vehicles have made several hundreds of thousands of dollars over the past few years, which go into general funds. We will be getting rid of the worst of the worst that we've been using for outside jobs that have, they've seen their time. We will auction those off, and they usually get about $1,500, $2,000 at best, usually less than $1,000. But we make so much money off of those that is going in to support the town's funds. So that's why there are a lot of vehicles there. It doesn't increase our insurance, it's fleet insurance, so there's no extra cost, and it brings in a lot of revenue.
That's what people
So,
realize.
yeah, no, I understand. It comes up, and
Okay.
While we're in the neighborhood, and since you're explaining about your fleet, can you explain to the general public, because you mentioned this a lot and how it's an advantage to us to use this fund. Can you explain your forfeiture fund and how you get monies into that fund? Where does it come from?
sure, there's different forfeiture funds. There's ones that are held at the county level. if we were to have an investigation that led to monies being forfeited from, say, a narcotics dealer or whatever, and we confiscate monies, those go into an account that the county more or less controls. We need to get their permission to use it. The major fund that I use more so is a federal forfeiture fund. I have officers that have been assigned to federal task force that their sole job is to do investigations of financial crimes. So those monies have been coming in, and they continue to come in as cases, federal cases sometimes take a while to be resolved. But once they do, we've received, I don't know, probably $1 million+ over the past few years. And I've, been spending quite a bit of that, mostly to buy vehicles. So those monies, I don't have to get permission from the county for. I do have to follow a set of guidelines that the feds put out. And, purchasing vehicles and equipment is one of those purposes that I can use it for. So it's just a matter of, what do I need? Does it fit the guidelines? And then I can just, request, Diane and Finance to write me a purchase order using those funds.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Committeeman Huber, just the other week, and Chief, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was last week, we looked at a vehicle that Steve looked at, and it just was on its last leg. So we
Right,
don't
correct.
invest money in something that is useless. We just sell them off at that point.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to tell you, commend you on great budgeting, number one. Number two, I'm tired of looking at the Explorers. Great choice on the Durango.
I like Ford.
I'm tired of looking at it. We will be one of the first departments around that has a Durango. So I'm excited about that. It'll be a pursuit SUV. This is going to be all black or black and white?
Two are going to be black and white. One is going to be
All
a
black.
little on the stealth. No, not all black. I don't want to give too
All
much
right.
away.
All right.
It helps us do these, speed studies and radar details, et
Good
cetera.
night, Chris, going home.
Listen,
Neon
It might look like, something sitting in front of anybody's house.
Bulldog orange.
I am
So-
excited to see Durangos rolling around Springfield.
Yeah,
That
I'm
makes
a
me
Mopar
happy.
guy myself.
I agree, Mr. Mayor.
So, and I have one also, so let's go. All right, roll call vote,
He's
please.
sponsored by them.
Committeeman Capides?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser?
Yes.
Committeewoman Du Bois?
Yes.
Committeeman Huber?
Yes.
Mayor Weber?
Yes.
Resolution 2021-121. This resolution authorizes the township to enter into a contract with Garden State Fireworks, Inc. for the Township 4th of July fireworks display, and we do have a certificate of available funds.
I make a motion for ordinance 2020, it's 2021-12, right? No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong one.
121.
I had the wrong one circled. 2021-121, as read by Madam Clerk.
Second.
Oh,
Too slow.
man.
So I pulled this one, I guess, because I wanted it, number one, to acknowledge that, last year we had to cancel our 4th of July celebration. It looks like it is going to be back on this year. Right? So that makes us all very happy that we are again getting back to some kind of normal path where we're all going to be outside doing some stuff. Does anybody have anything they want to add on the 4th of July thing, or we're all good with it?
Excited, but you say you get back to normal. Can you make sure that everyone gets their vaccines so we can get back to normal?
Absolutely.
The sooner we all get our doses, the sooner we'll be able to go outside, the sooner we'll be able to celebrate these holidays again with our friends and family, and the sooner we can take off our masks.
And I think the CDC, 2 or 3 hours ago, just came out with new guidelines now.
Yeah.
Don't have to wear a mask now with
Outside.
vaccinated
If
outside.
you're fully
Then
vaccinated,
you're out.
Right.
Yeah.
and
So-
you're in with other people who are vaccinated in small groups, you
There's
can
your incentive.
remove your mask.
Correct.
Get these things off of us. So I don't have anything else on that. Anybody else? Anything else?
Nope.
Nah.
Okay, Committeewoman Du Bois?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser?
Yes.
Committeeman Capides?
Yes.
Committeeman Huber?
Yes.
Mayor Weber?
Yes.
And And we had Resolution
130.
2021-130. This resolution ratifies and authorizes the execution of a modified collective negotiations agreement between the Township and the Firefighters Mutual Benevolent Association, Local Number 27, for the time period covering January 1, 2020 through December 31, 2027.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to make a motion to approve Resolution 2021-130 as read by Madam Clerk.
Second.
All right, so,
You guys stop it. Two children up here.
so I pulled this one because I wanted to talk a little bit about it, because number one, it's a 7-year contract. All right, number one, that I want it known that our township recognizes these guys for the hard work that they do and the danger that their job faces daily, and it doesn't go unrecognized. That's number one. Number two, our business administrator put a hell of a ton of work into sorting these things out over time. I mean, you've been working on this these things don't happen overnight. So thank you for, this was, I have to say, am I wrong if I say it was pretty peaceful and it went over well? I mean,
All of them have. We're not having any arguments. It's been very, everybody understands.
Yeah.
You know, it's a negotiation. We're both going to walk away somewhat unhappy.
right.
Just the way it is. Nobody's going to get everything they want.
Well, the fact that you guys both agreed to something of this length says that you guys did a good job, so thank you for that one.
No problem.
I don't have, anybody have any questions on it, or?
No?
No, I just want to just back up 120% what you said. This was a long negotiation, and just having a little taste of it, I mean, it began last year, but
Yeah.
I think,
Last year, right?
yeah, it began last year, and again, Mr. Vasicolo's work on this, the back and forth, the phone calls, the coordination between both sides and the attorney, just trying to, you know, and John has the open door policy. Anytime you want to talk, I'll listen to any idea. We're not always going to agree, but we'll get to a place where we're both, you know, in a mutual agreement, which they truly were. And I applaud both sides for an excellent negotiation. And thank you very much again for your hard work.
Yeah, I want to say one thing to what Chris said. I have to tell you that I've been told by both unions, police, fire, SOA, all three of them, this is the first time that they've ever been able to just have an open door where somebody, can I speak with you? Sure, come on in. So thank you for that.
Everybody's always welcome. I'm here every day. My doors are always open.
You're the man.
You told me I couldn't come in.
I talked to you how many times? You called me at least 4 times today.
The door is always open unless it's closed. And in Mr. Huber's case,
24 hours a day, just not in the same day.
And I usually walk in when he's eating lunch. Sorry.
Does he buy you at least? Does he buy you lunch?
He offers, but I decline.
Okay.
All right, that's it.
Nope.
Thank you.
Committeeman Capides?
yes.
Committeeman Huber?
Yeah.
Committeewoman Du Bois?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser?
Yes.
Mayor Weber?
Yes. All right, we have a discussion and action item. We have a request from Jonathan Dayton High School for use of Ruby Field,
Oh,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
Yep, June 16th for graduation parking. Rain date is June 17th,
Another happy item on the agenda.
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
We're seeing a graduation again. I mean,
That's great.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve this discussion and action item as read by Mr. Mayor.
I said,
second it.
Second.
I have a
Second.
question.
I think we should let him park on Rich's lawn.
Here's my question.
Oh, wait a minute.
When you're talking about graduation parking, I mean, the stone parking lot is really not that big. Was there a
There's not
plan?
that,
They
there isn't that big.
requested it every year,
Oh,
so,
they do,
yes, every year,
and they use the
except for
stone
last
parking
year.
lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, but it's not that big. You can see, you know,
They're not parking on the field.
that's all.
They're not parking on the
They'll be
field.
parking down Rosedale.
Have they ever exceeded the lot?
Oh, yeah.
The amount of cars?
They park along the side.
Yeah, it always works its way out, but they just, normally just want to ask us, and so we say, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
okay.
Let them know.
Correspondence, I
All in
don't have
favor?
any.
All in favor?
Oh, in favor, sorry.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes, you voted.
Okay. Correspondence, I don't have any. If anybody has any public comment on any governmental issue, 973-232-4442. That's 973-232-4442. Before we go on to comment, I just have something that I want to do. All right?
Okay.
Ms. Hope Rosenberg, Mrs. Hope Rosenberg, can you come up here for a minute, please?
Mr. and Mrs.
Mr. and Mrs.
Mrs. and Mr. Jeff is there. Thank you, Hope.
I don't even know what to say. I mean,
But before you say anything,
go ahead,
Uh-oh.
I wrote it down, I'm not nervous.
go ahead.
But, I want to say thank you to you, to all the committee members for showing up, for supporting this event. Linda, you're incredible.
Didn't really do anything.
You did. To the DPW for hanging my banner 3 times. To the Springfield Police that had a presence at this event. To Scott, Vidal, and Auxiliary, who were positioned strategically throughout the whole event. We had not one issue about that. The Pope, we had the first aid squad there all day. We didn't need them. To all the businesses in Springfield that were sponsored for this event, and to all the residents of Springfield that came out in mass. We had over 2,000
That's amazing.
people
Right.
attend this event. And we were able to offer all the food trucks that were in attendance a complete sellout.
That's awesome.
So they left Springfield.
So hopefully it's going to be annual.
We're not releasing this information yet,
Let Hope get some sleep first.
I know.
That's it.
but I really just wanted to thank everybody. It was not an easy event to put together, but I was really amazed.
It was awesome.
Thank
You
you.
were awesome. Everybody you worked with that was there. I don't want to forget any, I don't want to name individuals. You're in front of me, but I don't want to miss anybody, but everybody from Dayton, everybody from Rotary, you guys were amazing. It was so cool. The crowd was insane. It was awesome.
Yeah, we had a 25-minute wait
Yep.
online to get.
Really?
Yep. Oh, it's didn't it?
I was going to start selling hot dogs to the people in the line. All right, because they were so hungry. I said, you know what, let me sell a few hot dogs there. I'll make some money. They'll go in.
He had them in his jacket. It was like hot dogs, condiments.
Actually, we had over 100 volunteers from the Jonathan Dayton PTSO. This was my dream, to build a relationship between Jonathan Dayton High School and the Rotary.
You want to say how,
Awesome.
I know you don't want to say how much, but can I just say that they're going to have a great graduation. This is for the 2021 kids graduating.
And we made enough money that we added to the number of scholarships that Rotary will be able to.
And not a little amount either. I
You know
mean,
what?
you did well, so,
Yeah, we did very.
That's really great.
You know what I liked about it was, and I've been to your food of the town, or whatever they call that, you don't see kids there.
That is correct.
You saw the kids Sunday, and that was good for the town.
yeah.
I thought, you
Well,
know.
I wanted to do, and I'm saying I because this has been my baby, so I'm taking full credit for this, but I wanted to do something to bring Springfield together. I do plan on keeping this annually, but the dates may change.
Yeah.
Because Rotary, still wants to continue with their taste of the town. And, that's something that, people look forward to as an adult out. But this event food taste of the town out of it.
This
know
was
what?
almost street fair level.
We saw some other towns doing the restaurant week, and we don't have a million restaurants in town yet, but it's something like that could be really cool that we can try to do maybe.
I want to keep it special. I mean, I don't care what the town does, but, this was.
It was so awesome. It was
You know,
just,
it was a well-oiled machine.
it was,
I've, and as you know, 'cause I sent you a message, I regrettably couldn't make it. My family went, but I couldn't. I had something long time planned. But the thing that I'm most impressed
I
with
hope they
about
brought
the
you
whole-
food. It was yummy.
I miss it. But the thing I'm most impressed about, and I think I shared this with you, you did what we've tried to do for years.
Yep, I brought up the idea when I first got on the committee, I couldn't do it, I didn't know how to do it. You did it, it was amazing. It was so
And that's
cool.
just amazing. And I applaud you for that, and you should, that's something that should make you over the moon.
It was
Because
awesome.
We've tried to do this for years and couldn't do it, and you got it done, and that, my hat's off to you.
Yep.
It's incredible.
You are proof that the five of us at times will come up with these good intentions and try and want to get things done, and sometimes it's just too much to take on with everything else. You are proof that if someone just puts a foot forward and says, I got this,
I told Rotary to watch.
and puts the effort in for that you did, God, it's a better town for all of that. I mean, we're just better for what you did. I mean, for what you and what you did. So, thank you. Thank you.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Oh,
it really
you know what
was.
this reminds me of? When we needed it, when St. James first did the first fair, that brought this town together, and you brought the town together again.
And as a mom of a
I
high
applaud you.
schooler, that's not a senior yet, but just as a high school student, I appreciate what you did because it means a lot to teach, it means a lot to the kids, and it means a lot to parents. So from that perspective, I thank you as well. Because
My daughter's a senior.
she's not a senior yet,
You're on
but
my committee.
yeah, I'm there. You're on record right now. You got me. 2023.
You
We
taught-
had such great support from
2023.
everybody, every department was they
Oh.
were there,
I'm up
they
to
were,
43.
it was just,
So I want to talk about that too real quick. I got to tell you, your workers, you must have fed them like happy pills in the morning. Everybody was happy.
So pleasant.
Yeah, everybody was so pleasant to deal with.
Except for my kid, who was unhappy about not getting a dog at one of the tables. but-
Everybody was, and they were excited. They were happy to be there. Everybody wanted to work. And I was talking to some people who had been there 10, 12 hours already. And they're like, I'm tired. I'm like, you ready to go home? And no, we're going to keep going to the end. We love it. So
100 volunteers.
your volunteers were great. You did good with that. You picked the right crew.
I had a great co-chair, Rachel Gary was
She's awesome.
phenomenal.
I spent a lot of time talking to Rachel. Rachel, another one, pleasure to talk to, and was the enthusiasm is the same as yours. You guys made a great team.
And your weather machine worked, so it was
I
perfect.
will tell you, social media was pretty amazing, the responses
Yeah.
that we got from all the posts. That somebody came up to me and said, what am I going to do at 7:30 in the morning? You're not going to make a post? So it did reach out.
It rained until 10, 11 o'clock. I mean, and then it just, like, you couldn't have got
I
a better day.
support every clergy in this town.
So that's how it works.
I got
I
you.
literally called every member of the clergy in the town and asked them to pray to the weather gods.
It was perfect.
So, thank you all.
Thank
you.
you.
So, Mr. Mayor, I ran the 30-second check, you said the number, and I'm going to do it again. But before you open up to the public, I apologize.
Yep.
And to you and also to Chief Cook, because Chief Cook, I want to put you on the spot again, and I apologize. We have probably in the last 2 meetings talked about maybe 2 or 3 different traffic studies.
Yep.
Would you be able to give us, are you able to give us an update on any or all of those studies briefly, if you have any information?
Well, no. We completed the Washington study, but we need to pull all the data and compile it. So there have been a couple of other recent requests 2 or 3 other streets, which we're in the process of setting up. So that's why I say no, because I don't have anything for you right now.
Okay.
And then we did get, pulled aside into some other issues in town of, we got some complaints of, stop sign violations, so we've been pulled into that area as well,
Okay.
which, obviously is just as much a problem as speeding, if not more so.
Sure.
I would like to just comment on a distracted driving grant, if I may, real quick. I do have some stats with
It's my
that.
fault, Mr. Mayor, I apologize.
No, go ahead.
And it's still ongoing. Officers have been out for about 7 days now, varying days, random days, it's not consecutive. We've had approximately 270 motor vehicle stops. These aren't just random stops, they're stops of people obviously either on a cell phone or hands off the wheel or whatever. There have been a total of 144 summonses issued out of those stops, 1 arrest for DUI.
Wow.
So that's been very successful. The officers have been out there. I just would like to say one thing which kind of bothered me. I mean, social media is what it is. It's a blessing, it's a curse. But
Who you tell?
I had actually read, someone actually complained that we're stopping too many cars. And I assume the person's a resident in town. Maybe it's somebody that got a ticket, I don't know. But complaining that your officers are, these stops are all people that could hurt someone because they're distracted.
Right.
And that's what we're out there doing. And we made it known, you guys asked me at the last meeting, we talked about it. But yet someone, we're working too much. We shouldn't be doing that. We should be doing other things instead, but.
Do what you do.
Anyway, yeah, I'm real proud of the guys. They're out there hustling. We still have more time to go. So, warning to all. I mean, a lot of these people were residents, which is, we have some discretion, and we've been trying to give courtesies at least one time. But, you saw 270 stops, but only 144 summonses. We have some in-town problems, so we need to respect our own town and do what we need to do.
The word, and let me just say, from my perspective, Chief, the word is definitely getting out. I think we've had some conversations that there's, not only have there been stops, but there's also been residents in particular neighborhoods bringing to light some issues that have been going on. And you and your team has been very proactive in running down every single one of these out. And so it is something, and as Mayor Weber said last month, it is something that we take very seriously. The stop signs, the speeding, the distracted driving, and as you know, and that, I was involved in a car accident in 2017 of alleged, someone who was allegedly driving distracted. So it's certainly an issue for me that hits close to home, especially with traffic violations. So I appreciate your diligence on this, your entire team, Captain Rachel, Sergeant Westover, and of course you doing it. And we appreciate the effort for sure. And your words are very well received.
All right,
Thank you.
And also, all the grant is paid for by the state, so that's.
Yes.
All the officers that are working, that's all taken care of by the state, no cost to the town,
All right,
which is important as well.
I just want to bring up, the officer by the high school, is he supposed to be there till 8 o'clock?
I'm not sure what his
Thanks.
hours are.
I know not many kids are going.
Yeah,
More kids are coming. And my wife, as I told you before, she goes at 8 o'clock, 5 to 8, 10, 8, and the officer's gone by then. Kids are there waiting, and cars are not stopping. I want to make sure.
Yeah, no, I got a problem with that if that's
I
the
know,
case,
I mean, you can't be everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes if there's what we'd call a hot call in town and there's only limited officers,
Yeah.
I mean, that's not that often. I'm not saying that's the excuse. I mean, I'm certainly going to find out
no.
what the reason
And-
is, but,
Is it Monday they're starting back to school, Caldwell? They're trying to get all the kids back and,
Let me see.
what's the other one down on Mountain Avenue?
Let me see.
Sam Meyer?
Yeah.
Walton and San Meyer. The young, and I don't understand, but the
It'll
younger
still be
kids-
half day, but yes, it'll
Yeah,
be
half
each
day.
day.
So we gotta be there by 12. I'm sure you're in touch with the school. Just wanna make sure that we have enough policemen there to make sure, stay there 20 minutes extra, or whatever we have to do. Because kids are going to school, so I wanna make sure. That's all.
You got it.
Any public comment?
No, I vote for adjournment.
232-4442, that's 973-232-4442. And while we're waiting for some phone calls, if anybody's going to come in, we do have
You got the time.
a resident who is going to speak now.
How about Jacob DeGrom? Let's talk about that first.
Like the Hollywood Nights movie. Laurie. Anybody remember that movie?
I do. I do remember that movie.
Let's go.
Bumper.
You got 3 minutes.
All right.
Name and address, please.
90 Washington Avenue.
Okay.
I'm here about the dog issue I spoke about 2 weeks ago. I have a neighbor that has a very loud dog. I complained about it. Chief Cook told me to call in when I have problems. I did on a Saturday 2 weeks ago, 2 days, a few days after the meeting. Things are good for 3 or 4 days. Well, unfortunately, they're leaving the dog out all day, and the thing is barking like crazy. They have a gated fence. They're private. They don't want to be talked to. I tried talking to them last year because this is going on over a year. I want to file a formal complaint. What do I have to do to get through to these people? They're very rude. I'm paying a lot of taxes. I want peace and quiet when I'm outside. I actually hear it in my house. I'm watching TV and I hear this dog. I shouldn't be hearing this all day. On and off, it's on, then they bring it in, then they take it out. 3 days in a row, now all day. I actually have a ring camera, I can see the dog's out for hours. They're home because someone's always home, but it's not dog neglect, it's a noisy dog, and it's against the town ordinance, and I'm getting sick and tired of it.
Okay.
That's my main issue, I want to ask what I can do.
John. Who does it go to?
Yeah, I mean, you can go to the court and just file a civilian complaint on that, because you're the one that's witnessing it, so, yeah, just come up to the court. So the building is going to be open. I mean, you can make an appointment with the court at this point.
Call the court.
Call the court, they'll come down, let you in, and they'll talk you through everything.
Chief Cook, can I still call for,
Yeah, I would suggest calling each time, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's documenting the
I
issues.
called once, but it's happening so often. I mean, if I start calling a few times, maybe it'll get the hint. I just feel like I'm outnumbered because it's a large family, and I'm just trying to be a quiet citizen. I mind my business, and I just want peace and, like, normal, normal.
I would have, as a friend of yours, I would have a request though, all right? I would just request that if you're gonna call, it's gotta be to when you're done, you can't handle it anymore at that point.
I agree.
They're on patrol, they've got something going on,
I
and,
understand.
when it's to the point where
Well,
it's
that's
just
why
been
I only
enough.
call once. Now, I'm gonna start being outside with the weather getting warm.
Right.
It's gonna be a problem. That's why I've been ignoring it, because I'm in the house most of the
Yeah.
time. It hasn't exactly been great weather. But with the pandemic, I've started enjoying my property. I built a patio and all that, and I just want to be able to enjoy it in peace. So if it happens when I'm out there, I have no choice. I don't
Okay.
want to believe me. You think I want to bother the police over this? It's a petty issue,
Agreed,
but it's important.
agreed.
So that's my main issue on that. And then
Thank you.
just a quick question about
Yes.
July 4th.
Yes.
I see you're going to have the fireworks again.
Yes.
Is there going to be a crowd like there was at the food trucks? Are you going to be counting bodies? I'm not being funny.
We don't know.
Oh, you
We don't know yet. We assume, the rule, the CDC just changed rules 3 hours ago.
Right, I saw that, right.
Right now, if we're going by that rules, we have to do some kind of head count and some kind of square footage count and allow a certain amount of people in per that. We'll just have to see how that plays out as we
And
go along.
that could change, obviously.
Yeah, we're going to follow whatever they give us though.
All right.
Well, thank
very
you.
much. That was all I had to say.
Thank you, sir. Oh, there's our man right there.
Flashback.
Throwback over here.
Good evening, members of the Springfield Township Committee. My name is Matthew Cass, 832 Mountain Avenue, and my concern this evening is about traffic safety at the intersection of Mountain Avenue and Caldwell Place. I believe that pedestrian safety has improved in recent years with the introduction of the new blinking crosswalk, but I believe there's still more to do as far as drivers are concerned. This last weekend, while I was helping to set up the Food Truck Festival, I noted it was exceptionally hard to make a left turn out of Jonathan Dayton onto Mountain Avenue. Not only do you have to contend with traffic coming both ways, but there's also traffic coming off of Caldwell in the same direction that you're intending to turn onto. And as bad as it is during off-peak hours, with kids returning to school eventually in the next week or so, I can only imagine it'll probably get a little more snarled from here. So while I would say, definitely take your time and work through this judiciously, I believe it would be in the best interests of the town to do something of a cost-benefit analysis to see if a traffic light is something that can help alleviate those issues.
We did that, I think.
You gotta understand, you can't arbitrarily put a traffic light up. You have to have traffic warrants, and you're also looking at probably in
Didn't we try
excess
that,
of $250,000. And
Wow.
I believe, I don't even think we could control that, would we, John? That's gonna
County.
have
Yeah,
to
it's
go
county
from
road.
county or the state.
I think we had a study on it a few years ago on that, if I'm not mistaken, didn't we?
I
Jim?
believe so. I couldn't say
Yeah,
for
I remember
sure.
something about that
It's been a
years
while
ago.
if we did.
We did that, and we couldn't get it at the time. I'll be very honest with you.
Let me ask you this, because there's a lot of them. Is there a way you can do some, can we pull back what our information was from a few years ago? Is that possible to find out?
We're gonna look, I don't know.
Not right now,
Yeah, we
not
can-
now, but in the
Yeah,
next
yeah, yeah.
meeting or two or whatever, is there a
Next 10
way
minutes.
we can see what happened on this whole entire thing and have an answer for it or whatever? Because
I remember,
there's
Yeah,
a
I mean-
lot of people asking for a light at this point over there, and
you know what, I think we went over it, and then they finally decided that we could put that, the blinking light now. You push the button and the light blinks to say you want to cross.
Yeah, but it's still, and I agree.
Oh, I agree with you.
Cass, it's still, I mean, I make that left all the time, out of Jonathan Dane's parking lot, and it's nervous, because you gotta look at the
Sure.
cars coming this way, cars coming that way, and then, as he said, the cars coming out of Caldwell. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a very, very tricky intersection.
It's a dangerous intersection.
yeah, I think we're all in agreement here that, whether,
Yeah.
maybe it worked at that point or so.
No, it would be interesting to see what, since a
What was
lot of
ruled,
us
right?
weren't on back then.
Yeah.
Probably four of us.
During the main hours, when it's like school's in session
Yeah.
and
I
coming
think it was
out, there's an
before I was-
officer there for
Yeah, I
that
think-
purpose of
Yeah,
holding up traffic and letting that, the cars exit. But obviously, they're only there for a set period of time, and then after that,
you're on your own.
you're on your own, pretty much. I mean, as far as accidents in that area, I don't recall, obviously, there's been some. As far as how many, I could look into that, but I don't, it hasn't been an overwhelming number. It's just, it's an inconvenience, sure. But I'll get some statistics.
Thank you all for your time this evening.
Thank you.
Yeah, I guess we just want to know what is the history, that's the problem, I guess, is, when you have this kind of form of government we have, right now, we've got a good length going on where we're all, we know what's happening for the specific amount of time, but what has happened in the past with that area, and how did we end up with the blinking light, and how did we end up with not getting a traffic light is kind of interesting. File that with the ice cream truck from 1971.
Well, I think those flashing signs we did, I think that was another forfeiture. Purchase.
See,
Just
there
saying.
you go. Great budget.
Just saying.
Thank you.
To try to help,
Bring it all back.
So we'd just like to know. Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Scott Horowitz, 74Q Drive. And I've mentioned this to you guys in passing before, and I'd really like to put it official now because it's becoming more of a problem.
Yes.
I live on Q Drive, which I believe is one of the older streets in town. It's a very narrow street. So what goes on is I've been walking a lot more, especially at night now, because I walk my dog. And people fly around the corners. They may be obeying the speed limit, but when you're sitting there and someone's coming right at you from both directions, it gets very scary. You never know which way they're coming. So I really think our street would benefit from being a one-way street. You come around just, especially if you have two cars parked across from each other and two people coming in opposite directions, you have to wait. And compact that with the winter we had when the snow was there for, a month? My street was undrivable. There's 4 street lights on the street. They're basically these barely lit things that do nothing. It's a very dark street. When I walk my dog and I'm carrying a flashlight so somebody doesn't hit me because it's a very dark street. And I really think there should be a posted speed limit. I usually don't do more than 15, but if you're doing 30 on that, they look like they're doing 90. So I just think that it should be a posted speed limit of 15 on there. And the last thing is, I've been in this town, it'll be 11 years in July. The only paving that's been done on our road was when PSE&G did the whole thing. The other half of the road looks like garbage.
Who did it where?
So that's the only other thing I would say. Those are just my things. I just would like to officially on the record and see if we could do something to make our street a little safer.
I
The street is really tight.
yeah, I'm not going to argue with you on it. What can we do to have this looked at where I would imagine in and around, and I guess we take a look and,
I do realize some of my neighbors might be inconvenienced by it, especially people that live like that would have to go all the way around, but
honestly, it makes sense, because,
90 seconds.
There's no sidewalks on that.
There's not,
Sidewalks either, yeah.
and if you park on one side, you cannot drive two cars through.
Yeah,
Somebody
no.
was coming right at me really fast.
That was me, I'm sorry.
If you're having people over and they're taking up that street, you know, on both sides, it can get very tight.
I guess if we could look at is parking on one side of the street only, and a one-way going up and around.
What's the field?
You bring up a good point, too, as far as the paving of half of the street.
Well, regarding PSE&G, I believe it's state law is only required for PSE&G to do curb to mid if they only,
dug up half the road.
yeah, if they only do half the road. There's been discussions many, many years to try to change that because every town in the state doesn't like it, but, you know, it's just one of those things that I don't think that's going to go anywhere on the state level. But, you know, I know people continue to push
But I
for
was
it.
saying, like, the town hasn't done any paving since I've been
But,
here
yeah.
for the rest of the streets. Before that even. It's just-
Gotcha.
Somebody told me our street hasn't been paved since the 70s. I don't know if that's true or not, but.
We
So
may
this is
have,
something that we can't do, this is a state level issue with the paving?
I don't think as a township can force
Well,
PSE&G
they may deal
to pay.
We're looking into that, but I agree with you. I
Yeah,
don't think we can.
Okay, all right, so we'll look into that too, because I agree with you.
yeah, I thought we had looked into the committee a couple of years back about,
Curb to curb.
correct. Yeah, I know, I don't know what happened, but I know it was discussed. I don't recall.
I thought we did too.
Yeah, we had.
All right, yeah, I was pretty sure we're all, listen, we all live here. My street's halfly paved too.
My house is-
Right, yeah, I can't stand a halfly paved street either, so if we can fix it, we'll fix it. And we'll get you
Thank you.
the info on that.
Thank you.
You want to do the number one more time? I'll do the timer.
Yeah, any comments or questions? 973-232-4442, 973-232-4442.
Anybody want to sponsor this commercial break?
Thank you for
Mr.
tuning
Mayor,
in to
while
the
we're-
spring.
I vote for adjournment.
Mr. Mayor, while we're waiting, I
Yes.
just wanted to mention, Ruby Field.
Yes.
We've now got the netting up. the
It looks
poles,
so
the
good.
So great.
You know what, did I talk to you? No, talk to Adam.
You called me today about. Ruby Field.
No, but what about the blue?
There's a pocket dial.
Somebody called me about the blue, tarp.
We were not putting the blue windscreen up. The
Because you
neighbors
complained.
complained about that, it was very expensive, that went by the wayside.
Okay.
The top of the fence is done,
Yeah.
not the blue windscreen.
Yeah, it looks like a real baseball field. And
Still got more work to do, but it's,
It looks nice.
foul poles have been moved, bleachers have been done, netting, padding.
Yeah, but I need a
Trees.
shade spot when I go to watch the game.
The home run markers have been put up, the fence topper's been up, new flagpole.
We've been working on this for a long time. so
Yeah.
it work.
Scoreboard, we're working on scoreboard. So, they're gonna have a great place to play.
Well, the sprinkler system, has that been fixed? I know sometimes it works, sometimes it didn't.
I don't know, Ruby, I'm not sure.
Yeah, but they have a sprinkler system in there, there's electricity for the scoreboard. You know,
Electricity is there.
yes,
Check the
oh yeah, that's
electricity,
okay, it's all set.
Oh, I haven't checked the upper field at Chisholm since it's raining to see if it, I guess.
No, it is not flooding.
Good, yeah.
Upper Chisholm Field is not flooding.
Not at all.
It is everything we wanted it to be right now. We won't talk about Splash Park now, or not really, no?
No,
not yet,
let's
but
go.
Can I talk about a baseball field real quick?
Go ahead.
Rosner Field, I'm very familiar with this field, my son plays on it all the time. Can you have Robbie look, and I guess I could talk to you when the meeting's over. First base side, behind the dugout, there is a lamp that's lower than all the other lamps that are on the field. It turns on and off every, minute and a half. Can you have him, it's
That's to keep
so
the kids
annoying.
awake.
What?
That's to keep the kids awake.
Then it's definitely not
Assign one of the kids in the dugout to count how many times it goes off and on.
It's just, there's something there that's on and off,
Right.
on and off, very frustrating.
The money that we just invested in, I agree with you,
It's just
but the money we invested in softball fields, have you told the coaches, don't touch when it rains? I don't want.
The field.
Yeah, it's, because if
We
the
are
coach
hoping
touches
that they've been
that,
told that. We don't know.
they're done.
We are hoping that they've been told, don't,
They
play on
have
the
been
field
told.
when it's raining, but,
So I want to make
Doesn't
sure,
mean they don't do it,
because
but
I'm tired of investing money in the field, which I love sports, and
I
everybody
mean,
knows that.
let's talk about Chisholm. Scoreboard's done, concrete under the bleachers done, upper field's been rebuilt.
Chisholm.
Chisholm Center, bathrooms are open for practices and for games.
Yeah.
One of the nicest, playground, one of the nicest, two people who coached softball for years, this is turning out to be one of the nicest facilities
Yeah,
in
but,
the county.
wait a minute. The bathrooms, let's talk about the bathrooms.
Yeah,
The bathrooms are getting destroyed. We just put new things in there, new vanities in there, because people were sitting on them
yeah.
and destroying them.
Wait, when? Recent? No.
No,
This year.
that was from.
No, that was a couple years-
from,
Oh, we just did it this year.
No, we just replaced those.
Replaced
They
it.
broke
But
them
they
again?
weren't open for sports.
Yeah,
You're
because
saying
we-
we
Sure.
replaced them.
Sink were being pulled off,
No, they
the
weren't.
Hey, everyone's.
so we had those fixed.
Yeah.
They broke them again this year, though?
They were pulled off, I think, from probably last year. We
They
had
were
to
just
come up-
bolted in, they were bolted in there. There was nothing
we had to
underneath
come
it
up
all
with a
that.
solution to fix them, which we did.
You
And
did?
We did that.
Okay.
I just want to, because, I know all coaches have keys. I don't even have a key to get in Chisholm, but,
Yeah.
they can go in there. I understand the girls have to go in there. They can't use the John and all that stuff, but it's just that we got to make sure, because we're investing more and more money in our buildings.
Yep.
They have to, without a check.
Just to clarify, in case somebody's listening now, that was pre-pandemic that happened and those repairs happened. That hasn't been since we've reopened the building. It's strict now. There's a staff member because of COVID protocols. And so we haven't had a recent issue. I just want to
No.
clarify.
Oh, yeah,
Yes, there
no,
was
no,
an
yeah.
issue.
Last year.
It was probably 2019, I think. Because we weren't
Yeah.
open
Well,
most
we
of
just did it last year. We just
Yeah,
did
we
it
had to
this year.
repair it, but yeah.
We just did it this year.
The sprinkler system is up and running at
Is it? Okay. I know sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't.
Yeah, it does work.
I vote for adjournment.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You're supposed to say all in favor.
All in favor?
We could beat him to it.
No, that's what I want to.
All right, so tomorrow, we'll figure out what to do that guy capital.
Awesome.
We still on?
It's a mic.
Yeah. So what do you want, the property address, and where is